Hi, it's Paul. This is unknown case number 3. It's a neck node, and the clinical notes were query lymphoma, query Mets, or query other. So what's your diagnosis? Well, what did we see? We saw a pretty much entirely dispersed population of small, pretty round cells. A lot of those, if you went on to high power, have a little crescent of blue-rimmed cytoplasm, particularly on the diff-quick slides. So they were small round cells as well. Some of them had a plasmacytoid appearance with a bit more cytoplasm and a nucleus polarized to one end of that. It was quite a monomorphic looking population then of lymphoid cells. On the PAPs, we saw pretty round nuclei. Chromatin was fairly evenly dispersed, and there was really not a lot of obvious nucleoli. You could see some cells, again, were looking a little more plasmacytoid in appearance, and possibly some lymphoid globules in the background. So our provisional diagnosis really then was a non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Things that were missing maybe that can sometimes be seen, these are quite variable, are particularly cleaved nuclei, some irregular nuclear membranes, and although I thought I saw maybe lymphoid globules in places, they weren't really a marked feature of this. So what are the principal diagnoses we need to exclude? Well, one is a metastatic neuroendocrine tumour. Although there were some little sort of loose groupings of cells, there was no real molded chains or sort of vertebral columns of neuroendocrine-like nuclei, and the nuclei didn't fit in that they didn't have stippled chromatin. They really weren't showing enough variation in shape and size. Melanoma is always a possibility you have to think about as well. In this case, there was very little cytoplasm on most of them, so sort of weighing towards lymphoid cells. Binucleation and sacchariosis, intranuclear cytoplasmic inclusions, pigment, and quite prominent nucleoli really were not a feature either. Probably the most difficult thing, obviously, then is a lymphoid reactive population, and that would really require flow cytometry in order to rule that out. So we did perform flow cytometry on this case, and you can see that the cells were found to be all leukocytes. The majority of those were B cells, 86%, and amongst that there was a B cell monoclonal population present. So the findings were really consistent with a B-cell small lymphocytic lymphoma. And so our final diagnosis really was a B-cell proliferative disorder. So I hope you enjoyed that case. Thanks for watching.